the Blitz. John Abraham, Joe Hunk here with you guys on 97.7 ESPN The Zone, ESPN Winchester, as well as WZZN TV, where you're not just able to listen to the show, but you can watch it as well. As I am sitting right here in studio, more like standing, talking to you guys. Joe looks to be at a basketball court of some sort, maybe in an arena. And Joe, where are you actually? What are you doing?
I'm actually at Spraggins.
Oh,
yeah. Also, if you could hit that number 2 right on the Comrex, please.
Yeah, because you're on location. Yeah.
I mean, you would think that with somebody that's always on remote, you would know how to work this.
Yeah, you would think that.
Yeah, you would think. No, I'm at Spraggins Hall today, and the main reason is because UAH has 2 basketball games that are coming up very early today. And I am a victim of my own work ethic. Yeah. And so part of my work ethic is always to get to the arena 3 to 4 hours beforehand, which means that with the game tipping off at 1 o'clock, normally I get to the arena around 9 to 10 o'clock. So part of that is having to get everything ready. So what I did today is, instead of doing the show at 97.7 and then heading over here, I was like, you know what? Let me just do the setup from where Steve and Scott normally broadcast the basketball games.
That makes sense.
And so I am on the second level, right over here at the general admission area where Steve has all of his equipment set up. And I was like, well, hey, it's already set up. All I've got to do is really just hit one button, and I'll be on the air. So that is exactly what we're doing, because in between breaks, I'm communicating with the GSC. I am also getting everything, game notes and all that stuff, set up for both Scott and Steve, and getting everything ready to go here in a few minutes. All of our production people are going to be here to get cameras and get all the broadcast stuff set up for the game. So it's a little bit of a double tasking, but it's only because we got a really early tip off today, and because the women tip off against Cumberland at 1, and then the men will turn around at 3, and they'll be playing Point, and both of those games are going to be heard over on our sister station, Talk Radio WZZN, because I've been reminded it is Iron Bowl week. Yes. I did. And so for people behind the scenes, we have 2 radio stations, obviously. So with the way that we kind of have to juggle sporting events and all that, I'm always texting Steve like, hey man, what channel is X on? What channel is X on? And so the last 2 or 3 days I've texted him going, hey man, what time is what channel is this on? And his answer to every one of them is, it's Iron Bowl week. And I'm like, oh yeah. Okay. So that means that every single thing that is not Iron Bowl and or football related is going to be on talk radio for the remainder of the week.
No, is that the same? That's not the same for the basketball though. Alabama.
No, tonight. Yeah. Alabama
in Las Vegas.
Godspeed if you're going to stay up until 11 o'clock for that tip off. Yes, it's in Las Vegas. It's actually an awesome event.
Yeah.
And I kind of applaud the city of Las Vegas for putting this on, because you have got some of the best teams in the country all in Las Vegas playing 2 separate arenas that they're playing in at Mandalay Bay and MGM Grand. And what's really cool about it, for people that have never been to Las Vegas, there is actually a monorail that goes from the MGM Grand to Mandalay Bay. So you can literally just ride that over and go to the separate arenas to watch whatever games you want to be watching. And so that is what is kind of cool about it, with the way that this tournament is going to be set up. So yeah, you have Tennessee, Alabama, and Auburn all playing basketball last night in Vegas, and then they're going to turn around and they're playing again today.
Yeah, and Auburn got the win last night against a solid Oregon Duck squad, 84-73. It came with a few challenges, but they were able to pull it through. We'll have a little bit of a recap on that as we get throughout the week, which is a very short week at that. Only 3 days of shows here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone, and then we throw it off to all of the football games, all of the Thanksgiving festivities, and then we'll go from there. But you guys are looking forward to Thanksgiving. You also need to look forward to our big zone deals where you're able to get so much food. I'm talking a whole feast for half off. As Joe, I can hear the basketballs dribbling on your end. It's very good ambiance.
I'm about to see how distracting I'm going to be, because it's not like I'm going to be quiet.
Yeah, and on top
Coach
of that,
Sharp will let me know.
I do want to talk a little bit more about that Players Era Festival that's going on over in Las Vegas, because this whole thing is a little bit different for college basketball. I mean, it comes out and, it focuses on the NIL aspect of these tournaments, whereas more traditional tournaments that are going on, like the Maui Invitational and many others, they don't focus on giving the schools money. It's just, hey, come on to this thing. You get to face off against very challenging opponents. But this Players Era Tour or tournament is set up solely to give the players and the schools money. And then they're trying to also upgrade it and make it even bigger in the next 2 years. So it is an intriguing concept that I do want to talk a little bit more on.
Well, and it's not just them. In fact, I want to say that this morning, in fact, so they basically came up with this new partnership with the Big 12 as well. So it's going to be a 32-team event that's going to begin next season that they partnered with the Big 12, and they're giving their NIL funds $50 million. And so the Big 12 is going to receive 8 automatic bids to the festival as part of the partnership, and it's going to be something that now what you're seeing is every team that's participating is going to get $1 million guaranteed in the NIL. That is how a lot of these events now are going to be able to get teams to come and participate in it, by saying that the money, instead of paying the team money for things, they're going to be paying the NIL fund, which in turn goes back towards the players. So a lot of teams honestly are going to look selfish if they say, no, I'm good. We don't really want to participate in that, because then you're taking away potential NIL money for your athletes.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people have already thrown out that these other more traditional tournaments are going to need to evolve, because they will die. Everybody wants money. Everybody needs money. And if they aren't able to offer what another tournament is doing, like the Players Era Tour, similar to like what a NBA midseason championship is, which it's so weird.
People are probably more interested in it.
People are way more interested in this, and it's just started. And on top of that, it's expanding to what the NBA is, but a little bit more. So it's just getting a little bit more interesting as the years go on, and I'm all here for it. And apparently they already have 26 teams ready for next year. They're just getting the rest figured out. But, Joe, last night I was focusing on some high school basketball. A lot of fun over on the NFHS network, over at the Hoops Giving Basketball, Rocket City edition. And let me just say this. Yeah, I butchered the name. It's fine.
I just love the fact of how you say it. That's so great.
It was the Huntsville Crimson Panthers facing off against the Best Academy Eagles. And that's their name. You're not saying this is the best academy available. No, that's their name. Yeah. They're like the engineering, scientist, tech school out of Atlanta, Georgia. They come in 3-0, looking pretty good. But Huntsville, let me just tell you, this is a different breed of team. We saw Evan Tom get up to 30 points. He had 13 rebounds, 5 blocks, and he uses all of his body for those blocks. Hudson Gossett got out, had 15 points, 3 assists, 2 steals. Bobick, who is a sophomore, is looking really promising moving forward. And then Travell Lewis, who had 8 points, 3 assists, and 2 steals. He's a senior with a lot of leadership, and I think a lot of players are looking to him to kind of guide them through their high school careers. But this is all just a Christian Swears team. It continues to look up for the Huntsville Crimson Panthers, and I'm just going to be glad that I get to watch some of these games and call them over on the NFHS network.
No, and it's extremely fun going to Huntsville, because as I know that obviously 97.7 has a relationship with Huntsville, but at the same time, it is one in which that you're talking about a team last year that was ranked in the top 25. And in all reality, we all know that Huntsville and Hoover should have been playing for the state championship. That game should have been happening in the Final 48. And this is a team that absolutely can go anywhere in the country and take on other top 25 teams and not only be able to handle their own, but be able to win. And that's just what's been built over in Huntsville. So it is something that program is on an absolutely different level than what a lot of other high school programs are around the state of Alabama. And again, some of these players that are playing, obviously we've seen Simon Walker get his debut with Auburn a couple of days ago. There's going to be a couple of other players one other player that's actually playing in the GSC right now. He's going to be making his way to Spraggins at some point in time this season. And so there's a lot of things about this that Huntsville has been able to build. So it's kind of crazy to see that Huntsville High School, at least basketball wise, has almost become our I wouldn't say IMG Academy, but it has become a place where that if you're going on that court, you are playing some of the best teams. Yeah. And that's where the city tournament and everything that's happening later on is going to come into effect as well.
No doubt. And that team, of course, 7A, if you're looking at the 6A, of course, Buckhorn has been on the rise as of late. Caleb Holt, doesn't matter if you have him or you don't. This team's still going to be very competitive, and they look to continue that as well going into this season. But we'll talk a little bit more high school basketball throughout the season, of course. We're going to be on plenty of games, Joe. But I'm going to look at this because we do have Ryan Sylvia from Rocky Top Insider that's going to be joining us here in the next segment. And this is a guy that is looking at this Tennessee Vandy game as the most important game of the season, not just because, he's up in Tennessee, but because it honestly looks like the most appealing game this weekend. And a lot of people are going to say, wait, you can't forget about the Iron Bowl. I'm not forgetting about the Iron Bowl. But to the people down in Alabama, obviously the Iron Bowl is going to be a little bit more oomph, all right? The Tennessee Vandy game, though, is huge to those Tennessee fans.
That's for a spot to make it into the college football playoff,
exactly.
Like with Vanderbilt. So, no, it's a massive game. And honestly, I could probably say this is probably the biggest that this game has ever been.
No doubt.
Between Vanderbilt and Tennessee. I mean, obviously it's been big for Tennessee on their side, but we're talking about a Vanderbilt program that could realistically make the college football playoff if they were able to go into Neyland and win this game. And obviously now in Tennessee is having to play the role of spoiler because the number of losses that they have. And, you're still talking about how they can go to a great bowl as well. So, this game is massive, and it's massive for the opposite reason that I think anybody else in college football history. You always see that joke about those videos that people post to be like, time traveler from 1990 travels to 2025, and they ask about this and that. I mean, you could talk about a time traveler from 1965 coming to 2025, be like, dude, I can't wait for the Vandy Tennessee game. What? Vandy's horrible. I know they're horrible. What they winning in the Southern Conference? No, it's in this conference called the SEC. Like, that sort of thing that we kind of joke about. But Vanderbilt hasn't been good and been in this opportunity for decades upon decades.
Yeah. And I think it's also interesting. People forget that Tennessee, I talked about it yesterday, has a very slim chance. If everything falls into place correctly, Tennessee could still make it to the playoffs. Now, don't put your money on it. Please don't do that. But there is a 0.3% chance, all right? So there is still a chance. And like the great Han Solo said, don't tell me the odds. Well, that's exactly what we did. And you got to know that there is still a slim chance. But even if Vanderbilt wins this game, apparently, according to ESPN's little playoff predictor, they only have a 51% chance to still make the playoffs.
That's still a really good chance.
In the one prediction that I threw in there, out of the 200,000 that I wanted to try and calculate, it says Vanderbilt would go to the Final Four and lose against Indiana. So talk about a hell of a season for Clark Lee's Commodores. It's going to be interesting, but we want to talk a little bit about the Tennessee Vols side of things. And, of course, the ESPN Winchester folks can join in on the conversation as well. 256-576. 97.7 is the number to get into the queue. And as always, remember that this show is presented by the wonderful people over at Fleming Roofing and Restoration. The guys you need to talk to about all of your roofing needs. If you're having any roofing problems, just look them up online at FlemingHSV.com to fill out that free quote today. And remember that Fleming always shows up, similar to Ryan Sylvia, on the other side, here on the Blitz on 97.7 ESPN The Zone, ESPN Winchester, and WZZN TV.
Phone lines are open now. 256-576-4977. This is the Blitz on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
Eagle Masonry and Installation. It's right there in the name. Eagle is your one-stop shop for block, stone, or brickwork, monument signs, and outdoor kitchens and fireplaces. Eagle also offers the finest craftsmanship and insulation, including fiberglass or spray foam insulation, and of course, insulation removal. Philip Love and his team have years of experience, bringing the region the best in masonry and insulation services. For more information and a quote, visit insulatewitheagle.com or call 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Tom Abraham here for my friends at All About Water. Crazy name, huh? Well, let me introduce you to them. All About Water is the top pond builder anywhere in the Tennessee Valley, and that includes remodeling or cleaning out existing ponds as well. They also have monthly maintenance plans for your pond. Don't have a pond? Well, how about a fountain or water feature for your property to bring that soothing sound of running water to your happy place? On the other hand, maybe you have water on your property that you don't want. Well, Ryan at All About Water is all about water, so he could take care of that as well. He has a background in fluid dynamics, and what that means is that he could take care of any water issue that you have. Finally, how about that irrigation system that you have or that you want? Well, they do installs and maintenance and repairs on those as well, because they are all about water. Learn more at allaboutwaterllc.com. That's allaboutwaterllc.com.
I'm here with Thomas from Talent Heating and Air. With the temperatures going up, now is a good time to get your heating and air system looked at. Thomas, when somebody calls, you guys answer.
That's right. The phones are staffed by us. They're manned 24/7. We're ready to come out and take care of you that day.
How do they give you guys a call?
You give us a call at 256-503-4490.
And you can find you guys on the World Wide Web at
talenthvac.com.
And now is a good time to do this because you guys are offering a special deal.
That's right. We're doing $49 tune-ups this spring. We're also doing free second opinions. We offer that year-round. Somebody comes out, they say you got a bag compressor, a leaking refrigerant. Give us a call, see if we can save you some money.
Thomas from Talent Heating and Air. Thomas, one more time, that phone number.
256-503-4490. AL certain number 21014.
It's early Black Friday at Woody Anderson Ford, and that means loads of incentives to make owning or leasing an award-winning Ford that much easier. Hello, I'm Don Wessels, and let's talk Ford owner loyalty first. If you currently own a Ford, you'll get a $1,500 bonus on 25 Bronco Sport and 25 Explorer, plus a $1,000 bonus on 25 F-150, no trade-in required. Happen to own a Bronco Sport competitor? You'll get a $2,000 bonus. Same for Conquest Cash on 25 Bronco and Explorer. Plus, get 0% financing for 60 months on select Fords, including 25 F-150, Explorer, Escape, and more. And you'll make no payments for 90 days with approved credit. Woody Anderson Ford also has zero down leases on our most popular models, and they come with 2 years of premium complimentary maintenance. Hurry though, these early Black Friday offers end November 29th. It's a smart time to buy. Woody Anderson Ford. Hope to see you soon.
Your Fox 54 weather.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A quiet night across the Tennessee Valley. Temperatures dropping off into the lower 50s. A mostly sunny sky for your Wednesday. We're only going to climb into the mid and upper 50s, which is actually below average. Dropping into the mid 30s overnight early Thursday morning. A mostly sunny sky for your Thanksgiving. Temperatures climbing only into the mid and upper 40s.
Your Fox 54 weather. Only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. The Tom Abraham Show. Weekdays beginning at noon on 97.7 ESPN The Zone and WZZN TV.
Well, it's midnight. I wound up too tight. I got a fist.
And welcome back into the Blitz. John Abraham, Joe Hunk with you guys here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone, as well as ESPN Winchester and WZZN TV. You know we can't forget about that. It is Thanksgiving week. Of course, Hoopsgiving is going on over at Huntsville High, so make sure you guys get on over there. Drudy Arvin will be there, and he'll be watching some awesome basketball action going down. Huntsville Crimson Panthers is going to be playing at 1 o'clock today, so make sure you guys get over there and get a seat because that place will fill up quick. But we want to talk a little bit of hardwood. We want to talk a little bit of Tennessee basketball this segment. We're going to be talking the Vols specifically, as well as the Commodores. And joining us now as a guest all the way up from Knoxville, it is Ryan Sylvia from the beautiful, beautiful state of Tennessee. And Ryan, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing good, guys. We got an interesting final game of the season for Tennessee against Vanderbilt finally. So it'll be a fun one when usually, not that Tennessee's performed particularly perfectly in the series, but at least there's some, college football playoff implications and fun stuff going on.
No doubt about it, man. And it really does mean a lot more. Vanderbilt being a little bit more competitive, Tennessee still having something to fight for. Talk a little bit about it, though. Obviously the playoffs, it seems like a long shot, but they're not 100% out of the playoff picture. It's just, they might be the last team in if it all comes down to the right things.
Yeah, I don't think anyone, betting on Tennessee to make the playoffs. It's going to be a tough task to get in at 9-3. I mean, Vanderbilt could win this game, finish 10-2, and we still don't know for sure if they would be in the field. So I don't think anyone's really banking on too much of a hope that Tennessee could get in, but I guess you technically can't eliminate them until, that thing goes final, because there could be just complete and utter chaos around the SEC. I think if you are holding on to any glimmer of hope, I think you would like to see Texas lose this weekend, because they're also sitting there at a potential 9-3, and that would be maybe the biggest hump for Tennessee to get over is their case over them. But still, like I said, at the same time, I think there's, got to have to be some other motivational factors at play, because it doesn't seem like the playoffs are necessarily on the table.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And of course, if Texas wins against Texas A&M, then that's going to throw a whole wrench into the SEC championship picture. But if Texas A&M takes care of business, then we know exactly what we got. Of course, Alabama would need to do the same against Auburn. Then it would be a Texas A&M versus Alabama championship game, which would be very fun to see over in Atlanta. But, I mean, Tennessee comes into this game at Neyland Stadium. The fans should be hyped coming off of the first win in Gaithersville since 2003. Huge win for the Volunteers to kind of get over that hump. But now you're looking at a game where Tennessee's playing at home, and they're only a 2.5-point favorite. Who genuinely is the better team here whenever you look at it on a neutral site? Who do you think?
Man, I don't know. It feels like such a toss-up, which is, I guess, exactly what that line is saying. You think back to kind of the traditional, like, you get 3 points if you're at home. Well, Tennessee's getting their 3 points at home right now. So I don't know. It almost depends what Tennessee team you get on a weekly basis. Are you going to get that team that just went down to Gainesville? Now, Florida's awful, don't get me wrong, but still, Tennessee looked really good in that game. And Tennessee's looked really good in some other games this year. Even that loss to Georgia, like, that was one of Tennessee's better games this season, especially on the offensive side of the ball. They've improved defensively. So you're going to get that group, or are you going to get the group that, should beat Oklahoma, but continue to get in its own way and hurt itself, and they couldn't win that game? The group that should have at least had a relatively close game with Alabama on the road and maybe have much more of a ball game than a 17-point loss in Tuscaloosa. Because if you get that group that went down to Alabama, then Vanderbilt's going to win this game. There's not going to be much of an issue. But if you get the group that went to Lexington and beat up on Kentucky, that just went to Gainesville, or even some of these other teams that, not that Tennessee's played the toughest SEC schedule, but the teams that they've taken care of business against, then I think you could definitely make your argument that Tennessee's the better team. It just really, it feels like a coin flip almost on which team you're going to get right now with the Vols.
Well, and with the way that they have been playing, and you're talking about that big win, this is a Neyland Stadium that has really never been in this situation of having to play spoiler to Vandy. What are the players thinking about going into this now, where basically now you need all of the orange to be able to get ready for this game, to make sure that they make it where it's difficult for Diego Pavia to even hear.
Yeah, I think there was questions about motivation, not just the players but the fans. Like, you lost that game to Oklahoma that you should have won, frankly, and it eliminated you from college football playoff contention for all purposes. And so were the players going to come out and look flat and just try to get to the finish line and turn the page next season? Were the fans going to completely give up on the year? Against Mexico State after the bye week, maybe, I don't want to say they came out completely flat, but it wasn't some inspiring effort where, oh man, this team's locked in. Then you see what happened in Gainesville, and that Tennessee team for all 60 minutes were firing all cylinders. Second half, they just kind of sat in the ball and let things expire. But, like, they came out of the gates and scored 4 straight touchdowns. The fans were into it. You look on social media, and everyone's fired up. So that makes you think that from both perspectives, the fans and the players going to this Vandy game with all the stakes on the line, the in-state bragging rights, Diego Pavia, when you look back to his off-season comments saying that Vanderbilt's going to run the state of Tennessee, you have a transfer in Jordan Matthews who went from Tennessee last year now to Vanderbilt, saying he's on the winning side of the rivalry. There's a bunch of stuff at play, and it feels like definitely the fans, it's going to be a sold-out stadium. It's going to be a ruckus environment, and as good as you get in college football. But the players, it feels like, too, it seems like they're going to be fired up for this one as well.
Ryan Sylvia from a Rocky Top Insider is our guest. And Ryan, the reason you're on Tuesday instead of Monday, because I wanted to get this conversation in early, is because, of course, Thanksgiving week. And I want to know for you, what is Thanksgiving in the Sylvia household? Like, how is that? You guys have a turkey bowl? You guys eat turkey, or do you guys eat something else? What is it like for Thanksgiving over in your neck of the woods?
Yeah, we've done the traditional turkey. We haven't gone to ham yet. You can definitely make your case that ham's a little bit better than turkey, but it's just not Thanksgiving to me. So you got to go with turkey. My favorite dish is the stuffing. I think you can't beat that, but I'm not a Cowboys fan, but my dad is, so that's always on the TV, and we're always watching the Cowboys. Usually it feels like lose on Thanksgiving. My little brother is a Lions fan, so it feels like we're usually watching his team lose as well on Thanksgiving, but just a lot of football, preparation for the Egg Bowl and whatnot the following day, and some good food.
Yeah, and it's going to
be.
be.
Does that mean that like you guys try to get everything done before the games because you know that everybody's going to be mad after?
Yeah. Right now we're planning. I guess the Lions are a little bit. They should, at least on paper, be better than they've been in the past. It hasn't been the perfect season for them. So we're trying to find that little window between the Lions and Cowboys game today to get dinner in where. See if it's either at the end of a Lions game, if it's not close at the beginning of the Cowboys game, if it is a good finish, you got to thread the needle there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And now transitioning a little bit over to Las Vegas. Last night, the Tennessee Volunteers got a win over Rutgers, and it was in this whole Players Era tournament that I know is still fresh, it's still new, it's still really weird with how late some of these games go. There was a game that was after Alabama's matchup, and it was like Maryland, and I don't even know. I was half asleep.
It's 11 o'clock tip-off that you're talking about that's going to happen tonight, too.
Yeah, and I was just like, it's a little bit ridiculous, but I get it. Las Vegas, people are going to still show up throughout the night and all of that stuff, and, all of that. But still, Tennessee gets a win over Rutgers. Talk a little bit about the performance and how you're feeling about this basketball team this season.
Man, they look good. Offensively, they look really good. I'm sure Rick Barnes, not that they played bad defense, but his expectation for what they do on the defensive side is so high. I'm sure that irks him a little bit, but look at Jacoby Gillespie, drops 32 points, career high, hit, a million threes. He looks fantastic. Nate Ament looks like the 5-star freshman he is, where he could be as high of a draft pick as he wants to be, projected top 5 type of guy. He looked fantastic again. I believe he finished with 20 points. Then you go down the list, JP Estrella, a guy that got hurt recently, and there's a lot of kind of holding your breath on how long he might have to be out because he was such a valuable option as a post scorer. He makes his return in this game, and he looked good, and he got some points on the board. So this team offensively, particularly those 3 guys, but you go down the list too, and they have some other guys as well that can definitely contribute. The offensive ceiling feels, pretty high top to bottom. Like you've had the Chaz Laniers of last season with the, Zakai Ziegler and company, and that was obviously a good offensive team. You had Dalton Connect carrying a big load 2 years ago on that team. Those were great offensive teams. You think back to Grant Williams and Admiral Schofield and those guys back in 2019. They had great offensive upside, but I'm not sure if Tennessee's had as many scoring options maybe on one team as they do right now. And that's what's really intriguing about this squad and why, they're a small underdog against Houston tonight. And that's a really good Houston team, but I don't think you can rule out Tennessee at all from winning that one.
So I was actually wondering because I know LSU talks about this periodically when they have to do it, but do you know the process in which the university goes to find a new Smoky?
So there is a Hudson family who has, taken care of the Smokies, and that's where Smokey 11 right now. He's going to go back to live with the Hudson family and his father, Smokey 10, and so they're going to work. I think the quote was in coordination with the Hudson family to find. You got to keep it in the bloodline, keep it in the ancestry of the Smokies that go back for, I guess, 12 generations now to find the next one, but. You know how puppy litters work. You got a couple options to find, and they're hoping to find one that sticks this time.
You got one or two. Is there a criteria? Like, is it all from the? I mean, because you talked about the bloodline. Do they actually want to make sure that the next Smokey comes from the same bloodline?
Yeah, I think that is, what they do every single time is they go down and they find. And now I don't know. I don't think Smokey 11, the one that just retired, is a father at this point. So it might have to be a cousin or something. I could be wrong there, but I don't believe he is. So it might have to be a cousin or a nephew or something like that. But I believe that it'll be somehow in that family.
So what
there's
you're
a way.
saying is
There's a
we
way
gotta
you got to keep the dogs looking the same. All right, it's always got to be
no.
Smokey.
I know that, but I'm also sitting here thinking like we've got to get Smokey 11 a date. I mean, do we got to go like on Tinder? Like, is there something like that, like a bark? I mean, what do we need to do here? Because I mean, Smokey, like, if he's going into retirement, I mean, he's got to have like a retirement party, and I mean, absolutely. I mean, we got to make sure Smokey 11 is doing what Smokey 11 needs to do.
Yeah, I think we can all tip the cap to Smokey 11. It's a tough job. It's 100,000 people. Use some big speakers playing music and stuff. It's a tough job. He gave it his all. He gave his all for Tennessee, as they say, and they'll have to turn the page to Smokey 12 and find one that's a little more comfortable and more outgoing, I guess.
Yeah, Joe, it is kind of crazy with all of these dog mascots within the SEC and just college football in general, being in front of 100,000 plus people and just kind of chilling out, laying down on the field, walking around. And my little dog over at the household, the Abraham household, her name's Betty. She's very small. She started getting antisocial whenever there were like 15 family members in the house. So she goes off. She's like, I'm checking out. Like there's too many people here. Not enough moms. And of course, afterwards she gets back to wanting to play and all of that stuff. But, we talk about the animals. Now we got to talk about the coaches. Some Tennessee fans a little bit worried that Josh Heupel might be one of the next coaches that maybe joins one of these other jobs that have opened up. Is that kind of what's happening? Are there words being thrown around? Is there speculation? Or do you think Josh Heupel is going to stay at Tennessee and continue building this program up?
I would be very surprised if he wasn't at Tennessee next season. I'm sure, like, if you're LSU or even Florida or some of these open kind of big-time jobs, I'm sure you try to test the waters. It's like the Nick Saban thing. Like everyone when their hot board comes out, every single article has Nick Saban on there. Like, you just got to give him a phone call and see what happens. He's going to say no, but you got to give him a phone call. And Josh Heupel's not to Nick Saban level, but he's done such a good job at Tennessee. I'm sure that is, kind of the thought process of, maybe you can pull him away. I don't think he can right now. I would be very surprised if he wasn't the coach. I think, worst case scenario, if you want to call it that, would be he goes back to his agent and he goes back to the university and says, hey, this school's offering me this. What are you guys going to do about it? This school's offering me this much NIL money to hand out to the team. What are you going to do about it? In Tennessee, you would think for sure would match whatever needs to happen to keep him in Knoxville. So I'm not worried right now about Josh Heupel going anywhere.
Well, and with that, though, a lot of times when you get into these negotiations, depending on who the agent is, you're also going to use this as a time to either get a pay raise, be able to get possibly some stuff to help you as far as either NIL, or you're potentially looking at way to improve facilities, things like that. Like, what are some things that Tennessee could possibly use as bait to kind of say, look, if you stay, we'll get this done?
Yeah, I mean, Josh Heupel is one of the better paid coaches in college football. I think he sits at around 10th right now. Now, Lane Kiffin's going to get a payday no matter what after this saga ends, so maybe it'll bump him back to 11th or 12th or something like that. But still, he's one of the better paid college coaches. So I think it's more so probably going to be that NIL type of funding. Now, Tennessee obviously has plenty of money, and they've done a good job at getting top talent onto campus with NIL money and things like that. But I would think it'd probably be more so in the roster management category. Maybe he gets a little personal raise, a little bit more money for his assistant coaches and things like that. But it feels like right now it would be more so, hey, let's keep landing these 5 stars, and there's kind of, one way to do it right now, and it's to open up the checkbook.
No doubt about it. Ryan Sylvia from Rocky Top Insider has been our guest. Before we get you out of here, we talked a little bit about what Tennessee was doing over in Las Vegas in the Players Era tournament. You're getting NIL money from this thing. Talk about how important it is for other tournaments, more traditional tournaments, to kind of adapt to this, because, I mean, this is huge for the schools. What does it mean for Tennessee to go off to Las Vegas, have a nice little trip, but also have a nice little payday as well?
All right, it's a game changer. There's a reason that this is the premier tournament right now, and that the traditional Maui Invitationals and things like that are kind of getting put to the side. Is if you're a school, why would you pay all that money to get your team out to Hawaii or to these destination locations? And you're essentially losing money to get your team out there when you could be going to Las Vegas and winning money and getting your players money and having a payday at the end of it. It just doesn't make sense for the schools. I understand that there is the traditional aspect of those feast week type of tournaments like the Maui Invitational. There's great atmospheres there. It's those small facilities where the fans are kind of packed in. It creates a good atmosphere. I don't think Las Vegas can compete in the fan environment that those have.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, when the dollar signs don't match up and there's one clear option, if you have a chance to go play in that Players Era festival, it makes a lot more sense to do that as the schools than to go elsewhere.
No doubt about it. I agree the exact same type of thing. Ryan Sylvia has been our guest. Ryan, let the people know where they can find all of your work online and on socials.
And we're at RockyTopInsider.com. We'll have you covered football as we kind of still put a bow on Florida week. There's obviously a lot of hype from the fans. The team's turned the page to Vanderbilt, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the fans have to just yet. So we'll have that along with the Vanderbilt coverage. We'll have men's coverage for the big game against Houston tonight. The Lady Vols about to head out west to go and play UCLA and Stanford over in California. So a big step for them as well. Everything Tennessee Athletics at RockyTopInsider.com.
There you go. All of your Vols needs over there. Ryan Sylvia, great stuff from you as always. Can't wait to talk with you again, man. Don't fall in too long of a food coma, though.
Yeah, I'll try. I got to watch the Lions and Cowboys, so it'll be a long day.
No doubt about it.
Godspeed.
Great stuff as always, Ryan Sylvia. Wonderful, wonderful friend to get on to the show. And I want to know from you, Joe, it is Thanksgiving. We got to get in that conversation as well. What's the Hunkapiller household going to be doing?
I'll let you know when I find out.
Okay.
That's kind of the thing about it as well is because, we've got a lot of things going on in the family right now. We've had people that have moved over the course of the last couple of months. And so the normal places aren't really kind of ready. Matter of fact, we always normally go over to my mother-in-law's house. And what we do is we have Thanksgiving there. The problem with that is that she was one of the ones that just moved. And so her house is filled in boxes. So I highly doubt that is going to be available. So I have a feeling that we'll go to one of the cousins' house and everything and kind of let everybody have a good time. And I've actually been instructed that after today here at Spraggins, and once these basketball games are over with, to not think about UAH for the next 3 days. So that is basically the thing that I'm going to be focusing on is kind of recharging after what's happened over the last few days, especially with the Alabama Credit Union Classic that we held over the weekend, and now with these two games that we're having today. So, basically my wife is kind of handling that and kind of getting this. Look, I'll tell you how out of it we were, John. We didn't even know kids were out of school today.
They are?
I had no idea.
I ain't got no kids. So I don't know.
My wife had no idea.
My wife.
None of us did. So last night at about 8:00 when I got in, I look over and my wife goes, "Hey, you know that our son's out of school tomorrow?" I'm like, "For what?" It's a e-learning day.
Oh,
way to slide that one in on right there. Way to slide that one in and get that one in so that you have an extra day of learning, because heavens knows all the kids are going to be doing their learning today when they're sitting at the house. So yeah, it's an e-learning day apparently.
Definitely sounds like fun.
So everything kind of started early for us.
I didn't have many e-learning days, but I'll tell you this much. I wasn't learning school. I was learning, what the best class in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 was. That was kind of just what I did.
Oh, yeah. Look, if I were to let my son do it today, I promise you he would do nothing but sit and play Minecraft all day, build up our buildings that he and I have been working on and doing all that. If he had that option, he would be doing nothing but that all day long. Instead, we sent him to his grandfather's house. And so what we did is I remember that video game system I told you about that's got like over 20,000 video games on it.
Goated.
Yeah, I'd be basically just sitting with that. And I'll be like, look, when you can get through the water level on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, then you can go play Minecraft. I know that'll keep him busy for good 3 decades. So,
why is it always the water level, Joe?
I don't know, dude. I don't even know what's after. I don't know what's after the water level. I don't. I played this game since I was 6 years old, and I do not know what's past the water level.
Maybe Joe Abraham would let us know over on ESPN Winchester. He was a huge fan of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles as well, and he still is. He's got a few collectibles. He's got a few of the games. He plays them with his boys and all that stuff, which I got to tell you, man, I am so glad those kids are growing up because I can actually play some catch with them. It is wonderful.
And that's the other thing too, like with us and with wrestling and all of that, like, we do that throughout the house and we have fun with that. And so, it's more of those types of things that he and I can kind of bond over those. But it also means that I've got to get like those, cause we obviously are not going to buy a wrestling mat that we're going to have anywhere. So we're not going to do that. And so I'm going to have to get some more of the gym mats that go across around that you utilize whenever you're lifting heavy weights. I'm just going to have to put those around the entire garage just so that he and I can practice on days that he doesn't have practice, because they have practice tonight, but obviously that's going to be it through the remainder of the year. Not year, but remainder of the month.
You telling me you don't have a living room where you could just move all the furniture out of the way and
then
because border it in with pillows and stuff like that? That was the best.
Here's the problem, okay? And this is the only problem with modern houses. I understand that wood floors look good. I understand that wood floors are easier to clean. Yeah, trust me.
They are.
I have 3 kids. They're so much easier to clean. But when you have wood floors in your living room, it takes away 90% of the cool stuff that you could do, because you're not going to want to wrestle on the wood floor. No. You're just not going to want to.
No, you're not going to.
So, yeah, so it's just not a thing, man. It's just not.
I have just like brown carpet from like the 1970s in my apartment.
Yeah, your carpet, look,
Come on now.
Your carpet got installed the same day that JFK was assassinated. Like, that stuff's been there for a minute. Okay,
it's vintage, that carpet's Joe. All right, I'm a vintage guy. I like the vintage stuff. I was born in the wrong era.
That is not by choice. That is not by choice. Don't you even act like that's by choice.
Either way, we got to take it to break. When we come back, going to wrap up a little bit of the NFL news before we get into the second hour. There is some interesting stuff going on with the MLB, Joe, and I know you kind of heard about some of this stuff. New TV deals going to be scattered around the network cosmos that is the MLB, with NBC, Netflix, yes, Netflix, and so much more. We'll tell you guys about that as we get throughout this show. And your phone line's still on the docket. 256-576-97.7 is the number to get in. It's a short week. You got to get your wacky underdog picks in. We already have a few people that have jumped in on this. And we got, I'm not going to tell you Wolverine Dan's. I don't think he said it on the air, so I'm not going to say that. But we had, Mississippi State. We got Mississippi State was picked. So, we're riding hot right now. That's just one of the many. You guys can get in as well. We'll be back here on the Blitz on 97.7 ESPN The Zone, ESPN Winchester, and WZZN TV. It's wacky indeed, Joe. It really is.
I can tell.
Joe Hunk, John Abraham. You can watch the Blitz live now on X at 97.7 ESPN.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Drivers who switch to Progressive have an annual savings of nearly $750. Progressive.com.
The Iron Bowl at Jordan-Hare Stadium Saturday. The Alabama Crimson Tide, a 5.5-point favorite over Auburn, 47.5 the total. UAB, an 8.5-point road dog at Tulsa. Troy plus 6.5 at Southern Miss at M.M. Roberts Stadium. And South Alabama's a 9.5-point dog at Texas State. Falcons Sunday, 2.5-point favorites at the New York Jets. College basketball today. Alabama laying 13.5 against UNLV in Vegas, while Michigan's a 3.5-point favorite over the Auburn Tigers, 159.5 the total at Michelob Ultra Arena in Las Vegas. For more, go to VSIN.com. Mike Sennett, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
At Johnson & Hayes Physical Therapy, it's not just what we do, it's who we are. Founded in 2003 by Huntsville natives Scott Johnson and Todd Hayes, Johnson & Hayes brings exceptional care to every patient through an all-star team of highly trained physical therapists. From sports performance to post-op rehab, dizziness, women's health, and more. With 7 locations across North Alabama, expert care is always close to home. Learn more at johnsonandhayes.com. Johnson & Hayes Physical Therapy, where extraordinary care meets exceptional outcomes.
Tom Luganville here for my friends at the service department at Woody Anderson Ford. When you need service on your vehicle, whether it's a Ford or any other make, you want to get into Woody Anderson Ford where their expert service technicians will get it diagnosed and repaired right away, the right way. And while you are there, check out all the new and pre-owned vehicles at Woody Anderson as well. They are ready to make you the best deal possible. Visit Woody Anderson Ford today.
Woody Anderson Ford on Jordan Lane in Huntsville, Hughes Road in Madison, and online at woodyAndersonFord.com.
Hi, my name is Dan Aldridge. I'm here to let you know about the Aldridge Law Firm and the soon-to-be-announced Legal Town Center. I've been practicing law in Alabama since 1984, and I also practice in Tennessee. And I'm from North Alabama, and I'm here to represent you and take care of your legal needs. For many of us, hiring an attorney is not high on the priority list, and maybe a little scary. But it's something that we all need at some point. So by all means, do your homework. And if you need representation for car accident, wrongful death, medical malpractice, nursing home abuse, or estate planning, or any other matter, just give us a call at 256-534-3188. And you can email me at Dan, that is Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. God bless America.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
I'm here with Thomas from Talent Heating and Air. With the temperatures going up, now is a good time to get your heating and air system looked at. Thomas, when somebody calls, you guys answer.
That's right. The phones are staffed by us. They're manned 24/7. We're ready to come out and take care of you that day.
How do they give you guys a call?
You give us a call at 256-503-4490.
And you can find you guys on the World Wide Web at
talenthvac.com.
And now is a good time to do this because you guys are offering a special deal.
That's right. We're doing $49 tune-ups this spring. We're also doing free second opinions. We offer that year-round. Somebody comes out, they say you got a bag compressor or leaking refrigerant. Give us a call, see if we can save you some money.
Thomas from Talent Heating and Air. Thomas, one more time, that phone number.
256-503-4490. AL certain number 21014.
You'll love the expanded wine selection at Liquor Express. From special occasion to everyday table wines, they've got what you need. Meet your friends at the largest tap wall in Alabama with 105 rotating selections. Then take home a growler full of your favorite or choose from our 1,000 canned or bottled beers. Need help stocking your bar or planning your party? Liquor Express has a knowledgeable, professional in-house staff that can assist you with anything from your bar to the planning of your special event. Visit liquorexpress.net for tasting specials, giveaways, and classes.
Your Fox 54 weather.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly cloudy sky this afternoon. Showers and thunderstorms are going to taper off, especially once we get beyond the lunch hour through about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Temperatures still climbing into the upper 60s and lower 70s, dropping into the low 50s as we head into the overnight. A mostly sunny sky for your Wednesday. Temperatures climbing into the mid 50s. Cooler for Thanksgiving. Highs only climbing into the upper 40s.
Your Fox 54 weather. Only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Talking Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Weekday mornings beginning at 7 a.m. Only on 97.7 ESPN and the 97.7 ESPN The Zone app.
Yeah, this time I'ma let it all go out. This time I'ma stand up and shout. I'ma do things my way. It's my way in the highway.
Welcome back to the Blitz. John Abraham, Joe Hunk. It's always a party from 9 to 11. And it's always fun all day long during the weekdays here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone, as well as ESPN Winchester. And if you guys want to watch us, you can go over to WZZN TV as well. And it'll pretty much be like there's two bros hanging out with you all day long. I mean, that's pretty much.
One of them is very blue right now.
Yeah, you are blue. We should.
It's
come
my
back
shirt.
with that one song.
Yeah,
Blue.
It's the sweatshirt, man. The sweatshirt is UAH blue, and so the camera, no matter how much I try to work on white balancing and doing everything else, it picks up on the blue. So it's got that blue tint to it, like the screen's about to go out.
It's like I'm doing a show with a Smurf with a mohawk.
That's exactly what it is. You're over here with a person from the Blue Man Group, except I actually talk.
You're not that blue, Joe. You're not that blue.
Oh, come on. I'm blue. I'm indeed abida.
But what? Instead of doing your mohawk, you should just paint your skin blue. That's not offensive, is it?
No, it's who are you going to piss off? A Smurf?
Yeah, a Martian maybe.
Yeah, I am so sorry to all the Smurfs that are listening right now. If
you can't say that. Only Smurfs can say that.
Humans can't say Smurfs to Smurfs.
No, they can't. No, because they're not supposed to talk to Smurfs.
Well, then they shouldn't be offended to me.
The Wizard. I watched a new episode of. I've been watching both. I've been going back and forth from Futurama, which is like a classic cartoon comedy, and Smiling Friends, which is like the new, It show where it's like super goofy. It's super popular right now. But there's just so many funny things because in the new episode they were talking. It was pretty much like a Smurf spin-off and all this stuff. The two main characters go over there, and there's the whole wizard and all that stuff. I never understood why the wizard had it out for the Smurfs. What was it? Because you watched the Smurfs in its prime.
I mean, I honestly don't know. I just know that he didn't like them and he loved to invade Smurf Village. That's all I know about.
Okay.
I mean, so again, if any Smurfs would like to call, 256-576-4977. Didn't know if you were going to hit that, so I just continued to roll on through. I mean, I'm sure that we can figure this out a lot quicker than what the NCAA is going to figure out the brand new college football playoff format that's supposed to be that's happening because the deadline was actually supposed to be the first, so like 6 days from now. And instead, they have already kicked the can just a little bit more, and they've moved now to the decision date coming at the end of January. And not that it's actually a true thing that's going to happen, but at this point in time, they're actually thinking about wanting to hear out more about a 24-team playoff instead of just a 16 or 12 or whatever else we could possibly have.
Yeah, and I think regardless, this year, I think that people are going to get pissed. I think whenever it goes to 24, if it goes to 24, people are still going to be pissed. There'll just be people that are a little bit more irrelevant with their teams in playoff contention. It's tough, though, because there are so many teams that you could say, should make it in. I'm still looking at Tennessee. I think they would be competitive if they made it in. I'm still looking at teams like possibly even USC, who had a close game, not an amazing game against Oregon, but still looks competitive enough to maybe knock out a few teams within the college football playoff. We talk about last year, the first edition. How successful was that really? Because all of the teams that got the bye rounds, they lost in the next game. It was ridiculous.
And I think that honestly is you hear the first thing and you hear, a 16-team playoff. Are you absolutely insane? This is what we're talking about? Yeah. Well, there's a reason why they are wanting to and why the Big Ten pressed for the potential of a 24-team playoff. And at least that's what they at least offered up in the last meeting. John, do you know why a 24-team? Now, this is just a Joe Hunk guess. But the math is mathing, so this is the reason why I'm saying this is as a fact.
Why they're wanting to go to 24 teams?
And just skip 16 and go straight to 24.
There was a reason because there was an article that came out a few months ago, and I think it was mainly – was it kind of to force the SEC's hand at going to 9 teams? I thought that might have been the gist of it, but I don't know why that would even correlate.
If you look at the way a 24-team bracket would look – it guarantees that every single home team actually gets a home game. That's the biggest. I think that is the underlying kicker of this, that you'll say, this is for this and this is for that. No, what this does is that it guarantees that if you get a bye to the second round, which would be your top 4 teams or 8 teams, you are guaranteed to also be hosting a college football playoff game at your stadium.
Yeah.
Because then you get into the quarterfinals, semifinals, and all this where you're having to go to 6 different stadiums and all this other idiotic stuff that they're saying. So I really believe what this is actually doing is I think that the Big Ten is kind of like the rest of us, and they're saying, fine, I want to guarantee that my teams, even if we get a bye, we're not having to play our first game on the road and actually be handicapped in this. Let's go ahead and go to 24, where all the teams that get a bye are guaranteed to be hosting at least one playoff game before we start sending them off to the bowl sites. I think that is probably the biggest kicker in this, is trying to marry the bowl games with this, because I think that this is a bigger issue than what casual fans will think about it. It's like, why not play the game in the Rose Bowl? No. They want to have these things in their stadiums, and they understand how big of a home field advantage it is to play in your own stadium in a January game where you're sitting there and it's 20 degrees and it's snowing and you're playing a team from Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an advantage. So that's the reason why this is, I think, is happening, is they are trying to say, cool, then if we're going to keep the bowl games in, let's go to 24 teams so every team's guaranteed. If you're the home team, you actually get a home game.
Some more speculation on the other end, as well as phone lines on the Blitz.
This is the Blitz with Joe Hunk and John Abraham. 256-576-4977.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com. The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
A wise man once said, if you take care of old folks and children, everything in the middle will take care of itself.
Hi, I'm Danny Aldridge, lawyer in Alabama and Tennessee. In the next 20 years, the number of those folks over 65 years of age will more than double. In our golden years, the most important goal is to be treated with dignity and have control over doing what makes you grateful with those you love. At the Aldridge Law Firm and the Legal Town Center, we're dedicated to help you with these goals, and we'll be there when life throws you those inevitable curveballs. Let us assist you with your legal needs, whatever they may be or become. You may reach us by phone at 256-534-3188 or online with Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Just remember, we're here to help. Whether it's personal injury, wrongful death, fraud and cheat, or estate planning made complete, we're here to help.
There's power in caring when it is put into action. Each year, our bankers serve on nonprofit boards, support our local educators, and volunteer with our hometown food bank. I'm Bobby Humphrey, Vice President of Business Development for Bryan Bank, and community service is just not a line item in our mission statement. It's who we are. Because after all, Alabama is our home too. That kind of commitment to community might not be what you would expect from a bank, but it's exactly what you can expect from us. Give us a call or stop by one of our 2 offices in the Huntsville area and experience unbeatable service and legendary results.
Bryan Bank Equal Housing Lender, NMLS ID 2428943, member FDIC.
Sure, Valley Equipment Rental takes care of the homeowner and his needs, but how about the pros out there? Well, Valley Equipment has the big stuff as well. The equipment you need to get any job done. I'm talking about the big track hoe excavators, from the 30,000-pound mid-size one to the big boy 50,000-pound units. Need a dozer on the job? Well, they've got them up to 105 horsepower, and that's a good-sized machine. Plus, Valley Equipment has more lifts than anyone around. Up to 80-foot booms that reach 56 feet with a 10,000-pound capacity. 2 locations, North and South Parkway. Check them out today.
Hello, listeners. I want to tell you a little bit about Minuteman Press and what we have to offer our community. We specialize in paper printing and can help from designing your piece to the finished product. We print media guides for many of the athletic departments at high schools and universities around the area. We typically purchase sponsorships from these schools as well to try and help them with their fundraising. Once we have reached our new normal, we also print all types of marketing materials for you to hand out either in person, via mail, or at various trade shows and events. At Minuteman Press, we're not just putting ink on paper, we're building relationships.
The Drive.
Both those guys have done a good job in what we've asked them to do, and both of them have developed nicely, and both of them have consistently made plays.
Wes and Steve.
Their decision-making, their judgment, their ability not to force things and take what the defense gives and distribute the ball with good decision-making, down in, down out, is probably the only thing that's going to be any different about them, because it's not physical ability or talent. So it's intangibles, leadership, decision-making, judgment, and all those types of things. And, both guys have done a good job in that regard as well.
Listen to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton each weekday afternoon starting at 5. We are your home of ESPN Radio, 97.7 The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSIN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Drivers who switch to Progressive have an annual savings of nearly $750. Progressive.com.
The Iron Bowl at Jordan-Hare Stadium Saturday. The Alabama Crimson Tide, a 5.5-point favorite over Auburn, 47.5 the total. UAB, an 8.5-point road dog at Tulsa. Troy plus 6.5 at Southern Miss at M.M. Roberts Stadium. And South Alabama's a 9.5-point dog at Texas State. Falcons Sunday, 2.5-point favorites at the New York Jets. College basketball today. Alabama laying 13.5 against UNLV in Vegas, while Michigan's a 3.5-point favorite over the Auburn Tigers, 159.5 the total at Michelob Ultra Arena in Las Vegas. For more, go to VSIN.com. Mike Sennett, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Log on today, 977ESPN.com. Joe Hunk, John Abraham, 256-576-4977. Welcome to the Blitz.
An hour, final hour, best hour, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Joe Hunk, John Abraham. John is back in studio. I am at Spraggins Hall getting ready for some UAH basketball. It's going to be taking place here in just a little bit as the women just finished their shoot-around. Men are doing their shoot-around right now as they get ready to take on Point. Their game is tipping off at 3. Ladies going to be tipping off at 1. And I was telling John during the break, during the shoot-around that the ladies were having, like, I know that there's always this stigma when it comes to women's basketball, but I was seriously sitting here watching this women's team, and at one point in time, every single shooter from UAH's women's team were all shooting three-pointers, and not one of them were missing. I mean, it was absolutely amazing. I was going back and forth at both different ends of the court, just watching and seeing how neither set of ladies on either side were missing threes, and it was tremendous to be able to watch. So that's happening later on today. You also have Alabama basketball. It's going to be happening extremely late tonight, as the tip-off for that game is going to be at 11, part of the Players Era Festival that is taking place in Las Vegas. 2 separate arenas, one in Mandalay Bay, one at MGM Grand. And so you have Tennessee, you have Alabama, Auburn. All those teams are playing again today. Alabama is playing the host team, UNLV, as Auburn is taking on Michigan here in just a little bit as well. So a lot of basketball that's going forward before we head into the Iron Bowl that's going to be happening on Saturday. And you can watch and listen to that at least on 97.7 ESPN The Zone as you watch it on ABC.
No doubt about it. And of course, we'll have more speculation, more conversation about that game tomorrow. It's going to be the final episode of the week for the Blitz, so you're going to want to catch that one. And I mean, it is going to be a very intriguing game, and we do want to get your guys' phone calls in, but we will have Drew DeArmond on tomorrow, speculating a little bit of the Alabama side. And then hopefully we can snag an Auburn guy. Maybe Ike Jones will be able to join us from the War Report. Of course, a lot of these beat writers, they might be looking forward to this game, but it's also Thanksgiving. So they got to go home. They got to hang out with their families, and some of them have to, travel a little bit farther than others. But we're definitely going to get that conversation off and rolling a little bit more intensified on the Wednesday edition of the show. We'll also get into a little bit of the hype gauge in the next few days, because the games are very fun this week, but you need to know which ones to watch, because there is a lot of good, border battles and all of that, just, in-state rivalries going down, and it's just so much fun. You don't want to miss a single second of it, but we don't want to miss a single second of your phone calls at either 256-576-97.7, the number 2, get in. We start off with Chris. Chris, how you doing today, sir?
I am doing wonderful. How you guys doing?
We're doing
fantastic.
Fantastic, like Joe said.
Joe, I wanted to tell you Haley Strong, by the way, brother.
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely, man. Think about her a lot, bro.
Hey, so to answer one of your questions, Joe, I'm a big video game person. I've got from the Atari all the way up into the new Xbox and PlayStation at the house. I've got every single console. To answer your question, Wall Street Rooftops, Act 3. That is the level that is after the insane water level.
Wait, there's actually a level after it? I seriously thought that was the end of the game.
Oh, that was endgame, man.
I mean, seriously,
I
it feels like that's
when I
endgame.
played it. It took me forever and a day to beat it. I finally beat it one day in front of my friends, believe it or not, on my birthday, and rooftops. I said, nope, y'all can have at it. I beat the water level. But
double birds in the air. I won that. I win.
Just wanted to say also, you guys do an awesome job. I get to listen to you guys every time I get a chance to. I'm actually in Chicago right now working. So hopefully for my birthday, I get to go home. Wife got me tickets to the CBS Showcase in Atlanta. Big North Carolina fan. So hopefully we can pull out a victory over there. Caleb Wilson, early MVP ratings right now, off the chain. But want to tell you guys happy Thanksgiving to you and your families. Love listening to you guys every time I get a chance to. And go Ravens and roll Tide.
All right,
Appreciate
bro. Have
you,
a good
Chris.
one, Chris.
Yeah,
Man. Thank
look,
you so much for listening to Chicago, bro.
I was about to be like, oh, man, this is so heartwarming. Then he said, go Ravens. I was like, golly. I get it, Joe. You don't care because you're a Chiefs guy and you're a Titans dude, and you have a little bit of problems with the Ravens when it comes down to that playoff game, some of those matchups, but
trust me, yeah, there's a hatred for the Ravens. What's also funny is the whole Chiefs things. You guys don't know this, but when I started working for the Titans, I put all of my KC gear in one of those vacuum seal bags, and it's basically been in a closet for years. So yesterday I was looking through it, and I texted Brody and I said, hey, you're a Chiefs fan. What size sweatshirt you wear? He's
there you go.
I said large. I said, look, man. These things are not doing me any good just sitting there in a bag. I was like, you're going to wear them a lot more than I ever will, because of the connection with the Titans that I have now. And I was just like, you know what? I'm about to just bring him a huge bag of Chiefs gear. I'm just going to go through, and I may keep one or two things, like the ones that are like, have a real good story behind them. Like maybe the ones that I wore to games or something like that. But outside of that, he's going to get the rest of them. I'm just going to hand them all over to Brody on that.
Well,
so
it's always
I got to clean
good.
out the closet, man.
Yeah, and you're getting in new equipment as well. I heard you got a whole plethora of Sparkman gear as well.
Yeah,
so, I mean, you got to make the room.
I have these extra. So I made a purchase of some Sparkman gear from a parent whose son just graduated, and he played on the baseball team. And so all the gear was medium. But the problem is anybody that knows that buys from Nike, mediums and Nike are actually more like larges. And so I tried on a bunch of them, and about 2/3 of them actually fit.
Nice.
But the other 2/3 don't. So I am, or I say the other third doesn't. So I'm actually going to be bringing those to John. John, I've had these in my bag for the last 3 days.
Come
4
to
days,
work, Joe.
And I haven't actually been in studio.
No, you have not.
Between being at Owens Crossroads and talking to the elementary yesterday, and then now being here at Spraggins.
Yeah.
Doing the basketball game today. So, I guess I may come to work tomorrow. I mean, I'm off from UAH. I may just stay home. I don't know.
No, you come in to work.
Set up in the office.
Come into work.
Is what I may do.
Because I might need to wear some of that Sparkman gear to Thanksgiving, or maybe the Turkey Bowl, which I do want to talk a little bit more about, getting my body prepared for it and all the training that I started doing. What did you say? Are you making
your body prepared for the family football game?
Are you making a joke of the Turkey Bowl?
You're the only person I know that actually does this. That's the reason why I do not know another family that has ever done this.
Well, what?
I've seen it in Friends.
Yeah,
I've seen that, and even that little area. I've been to that area. That area is really not that big.
Listen to me, Joe. Joe. This is a big time thing. All right, there's trophies involved. There's MVPs involved. There's cleats. There's gloves. There's footballs involved. This is a huge event for my family. So don't even step up and say that it's a cute little family get together where we're tossing a football around.
It is a cute little family get together. Until this thing is played on a football field and you've got this thing televised, it's going to be a cute little family thing.
We've played it on football fields. I'm sorry that we can't get it televised. You want me to go to ESPN and say, hey, let's sign a little deal for the next 5 years. You guys can stream the Abraham Turkey Bowl game.
If you said it was televised, then Daddy Abraham may play a little harder. Then
he doesn't play. He's the ref.
See, that's what I'm saying. He may actually play if he knew it was on camera.
I think he gets paid off every year,
people
too.
See, so that's, I'm just saying, like, I mean, you're in Winchester. I mean, there's not that much going on Thanksgiving. You go down to the high school, get the football field, get all the NFHS stuff fired up, and just broadcast this thing. That's when I won't call it a cute little family football.
You know what? I'll get it. I'll get this thing streamed soon enough. All right. I'll get the drone fixed. I'll make sure that it's following where the football is the entire time, and we will get it televised.
I mean, you guys
somewhere
keep
for
stats. Like,
you should have.
If normal.
You went back in time and saw some of the catches that I've made throughout this game at a young age, golly, you'd say this is legit.
You know what this sounds like? This sounds like that guy in high school that can tell you what he did during PE class.
I never let go. But in all reality, I really do love the game, and on top of that, I really love the listeners as well. And I wanted to tell Chris, we're thankful for all the listeners. Of course, it's the only way we're able to keep this thing rocking and rolling, as well as all of the amazing partners that we have, like Fleming Roofing and Restoration, that stick with us throughout the last couple of years. They're the guys that you need to talk to about all of your roofing needs. If you want a Thanksgiving that's not going to be interrupted by the house falling through, then make sure you guys head on over to FlemingHSV.com. Fill out that free quote today, and remember that they always show up. But we got a lot more phone calls to get into. We got Wolverine Dan up next. Wolverine Dan, what's up, man?
Got many things, okay? I'm taking a little break in the action around the house, getting it set up for an epic Thanksgiving. Nice. I put on the sprint, bro. Hey, listen, Joe's going to give you those jerseys. I'll give you a little advice. You're playing the Turkey Bowl. You might want to put on one of those jerseys because they might have been washed, okay? So they might be in that bag smelling pretty bad.
Oh.
And then you would definitely, for sure, would be open because nobody wants to get near you.
Okay. I didn't know where you're going with that, but now I'm just like, okay, he's making sense. No, what I usually do, this is hilarious. I have a lot of my jerseys from throughout the years, and I usually go into the little shadow box that I have, and what I do is I take it out, which is a whole thing in and of itself with having to put it back in the box afterwards. Very complicated. But I've been putting that high school jersey on, my final uniform that I ever wore, and I've been using that at the Turkey Bowl. This year, I think I'm going to go with my second jersey that I had when I played for the Franklin Cowboys up in Tennessee, and it's just number 1, and it's got Abraham on the back. It's going to fit tight, and you know what? I think it's going to look good, and I don't have to deal with the shadow box at that point either.
Hey, I got an idea. Maybe next year you play the Turkey Bowl. Why don't you wear one of my jerseys from high school?
Oh, okay. That's an idea.
You can get it dirty.
Right,
I don't care.
That's an idea right there.
That'd be cool as hell.
Make sure it's washed before I get it.
Man. Number 99, bro.
That would be a very cool thing to do.
All right, so I'm excited. Speaking of at home, I got my brother-in-law coming down, my sister-in-law, via the Hollywood Casino in Toledo, where my brother-in-law is going to put some K-ish down on the Pistons. Pistons are red hot. Okay? So, and then also, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's bringing me some happy candy. So, that's good stuff.
What is happy candy?
For Saturday?
Oh, if you don't know what happy candy is, never mind.
Yeah, I know what happy candy is.
Is it a certain brand like I need to know of or something? I don't know.
Yeah. They're the same you get at the store, but they're just gummy bears. But
it's things that all the wives are going to have to take during the Turkey Bowl because they're going to have to hear about the Turkey Bowl. So they have to take that stuff because they're like, God, this thing is so.
All right, speaking of that, your previous caller, happy Thanksgiving to him also. He kind of confused me. I was expecting a Chicago Bear thing, man.
The Ravens?
It didn't come out,
Come
okay?
on.
And I thought to myself, even he knows they're a paper panda, the Bears,
Well, I don't know if he's from Illinois or not. Of course, he said he was in Chicago. He might just be visiting, but I didn't expect the Ravens just randomly come out. But to each their own.
Yeah. All right. So anyway, I'm excited. So here we go. All right. What game is more important, the Iron Bowl over the whole nation or the Michigan-Ohio State game?
Okay. So I'll say for the entire nation, I would say the Ohio State versus Michigan game. And again, saying that in this area where we are right now, people are going to get out their pitchforks. But obviously in the Southeast, I think that on top of the Tennessee Vandy game, you could still say that the Iron Bowl is going to bring a little bit more oomph, especially because Alabama on that fringe part. And then on top of that, but you look at the Ohio State versus Michigan game, there's a possibility that both of these teams could make it to the postseason with just Michigan winning. That's all they got to do. And who knows? They might be able to do it. They have a little winning streak, so maybe they can keep up.
Well, we'll see how that plays out. Yeah, I'm excited about it. I tell you, the Bama game, that turtleneck's really starting to shrink, that around the neck, all right? That anaconda necktie is just, there's a little tightening going on right now. So I see it. Hey, I'm all over Auburn. I think Auburn's going to beat them again. I really do. I think it's just way too much pressure. These kids can't handle. And Jordan Hare is going to be off the chain. It's going to be crazy. Daniels is going to have a big game, and you'll see these guys got nothing to play for but that game there. That's just way too much pride, bro. The Auburn's going to just rise up, man. You watch War Eagle and all over the place.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's interesting speculation from you, Wolverine Dan. Appreciate you calling in. Very thankful for you as well. Hope you have a great Thanksgiving if you don't call us tomorrow.
Yeah, man. I'm bringing a rub to your dad's remote today, so you can rub his turkey down with my rub.
Okay, sweet. All right, awesome, nice. I might have to have that for lunch, honestly, because we have the meeting here at this station. I don't have lunch.
Y'all are still doing the meeting?
Yeah, we're doing the meeting. We're a business, Joe. This is a business we're talking about.
It's
full-time employee right here. It's not Thanksgiving yet. I think.
Oh, trust me, it is Thanksgiving. Yeah, I'll tell you right now, it is Thanksgiving.
It feels like we're taking knees every single day to get through this week. But I'm thinking this next caller is going to think the opposite of what Wolverine Dan thought, because it's Bama Brad that's called in. Bama Brad, how you doing, man?
I'm great, guys. First of all, happy Thanksgiving to you and your families. I hope everything goes absolutely fantastic. Joe, y'all stay safe, or John, y'all stay safe in that turkey bowl. And Joe, you should be ashamed of yourself. That's a family tradition, and I think it's cool. And I offered to let you wear my
something when there's 75 of you.
But I played quarterback at about 110 pounds. So you probably can't get in.
Look, this is also coming from a kid that was an only child his entire life until like the age of 21. So trust me, that again, it's weird to me for that any family hangs out that much.
I think we can fix this, Joe. You need to join the Abraham household.
I think I was going to say, I think they'd let you suit up, Joe.
Yeah. You can do it. Yeah, you're a healthy boy.
Oh, no, I mean,
I think that's a great
that part
idea.
I don't disagree with.
Joe.
I mean,
hey, listen, as far as I know this is a sports show, but as far as sports go, I got one thing to say. As far as the Chicago Bears, we'll see what happens. I mean, it could be a fake. We'll see what happens. As far as the Alabama-Auburn game, again, we'll see what happens. Anything can happen. In football, anything can happen at any time. Well, we've proved in the NFL every single week the worst teams beat the best teams. They lay an egg on, against teams they shouldn't. But what I want to say is this is Thanksgiving. This is rivalry week. This is when families get tore apart over a stupid football game. I want everybody to enjoy the game, enjoy the time with their family, and whatever happens in the football game happens in the football game. Y'all have a blessed Thanksgiving.
Good message. Bama Brad, we appreciate you and very much thankful for you as well. And yeah, that is true. He is a Bears fan, and the Bears have to face off against the Packers 2 times later this year. Or the season. They have the Eagles next week on the 28th, so day after Thanksgiving, of course. And then they face off against my Browns, and then they finish off the season against the 49ers, and then that last matchup is against, of course, the Lions, who early in the season beat them 52-21. This Bears team is different, though. You get over a Steelers defense the way that they did after being down in that game with Mason Rudolph running. I know that Mason Rudolph's not a starter, but he's capable of playing NFL opponents. But the Bears were able to come back in that one, win it in the last few seconds, and 31-28 against a good defense. I don't think it's anything to slouch over. But we do need to hop into a break. When we get back, we're getting back into the phone lines. We got Brandon on hold right now. You guys could join him at 256-576-97.7 here on this Tuesday edition of the Blitz on 97.7 ESPN The Zone and WZZN TV. What are you laughing at, Joe?
Dan says, breathe, Joe. You're turning blue.
Joe Hunk, John Abraham, 256-576-4977. This is the Blitz on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
We are a championship school, and school is in session.
And the clock's going to run out, and Bama's going to win it. And for the love, let's get out of it.
Join us Saturday as the Crimson Tide head to Auburn for the 90th edition of the Iron Bowl. Our coverage begins at 3:30 on your home for Alabama football.
Your home of the Alabama Crimson Tide is 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Are you tired of chasing a roofing contractor to show up on time or even show up at all? I'm Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Our motto at Fleming Roofing is we show up. Our goal at Fleming Roofing is to provide the reliable customer service that you deserve, and we have the resources to meet all of your roofing needs: residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. We are manufacturer certified for roof coatings, single-ply membranes, and asphalt shingles. Whenever you need a roofing professional you can count on, call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We are committed to finding the solution that meets your needs. We don't have quotas or heavy-handed sales tactics. Fleming Roofing. We have expert experience. We show up. Free estimates. Residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. Check us out at FlemingHSV.com. FlemingHSV.com. When you need a quick response, it's Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Your customers deserve the best, and so do you. You invest in your customers with your heart, soul, and skill. Well, it's time to invest in yourself with the next generation Cat 255 compact track loader from Thompson Tractor. After all, those who give their best deserve the best, and this machine has it all. With features that include a more powerful engine, tri-axle truck loading capabilities, a spacious cab, and a smooth ride for all-day comfort. Best of all, now Thompson Tractor is making that investment even better with our Workhorse Special. Get 0% financing for 36 months on the purchase of a new Cat 255 compact track loader that comes with a 3-year warranty. You also get a 74-inch bucket and 1,000-hour filter kit. Great news! This offer is now extended through the end of December. Visit ThompsonTractor.com for details. Thompson Tractor, we're here for you.
From heirloom diamonds to contemporary jewels, Loring & Company is the place to find something truly special. Whether shopping for a diamond ring for that once-in-a-lifetime occasion or marking a milestone birthday or personal achievement with a Rolex watch, you'll find just the thing in our edit of the world's most sought-after brands, including David Yurman, Roberto Coin, Marco Bicego, and Fopay. Expect a treasure trove of the world's most unique, even breathtaking earrings, rings, necklaces, and bracelets, making choosing just one piece a challenge in itself. Loring & Company Jewelers on Airport Road. Need tough equipment you can count on? Christopher Equipment has you covered. Whether it's air compressors, trenchers, bucket lifts, concrete tools, generators, skid steers, and more. Serving you with locations in Tullahoma, Shelbyville, Manchester, Fayetteville, and Hazel Green. Christopher Equipment. From job site to backyard, rent or buy, Christopher Equipment delivers the tools you need when you need them. Call 931-455-3900 or visit Christopher.equipment today. Christopher Equipment, powering your project.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
This will turn journalism on its ear.
Watch our stream on WZZN TV on Twitch and YouTube.
But you are the greatest hero in American history.
We are 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
I like this.
To all the ladies in the place with style and grace, allow me to
Continuing on the Blitz on this Tuesday, as we're going to have a truncated week, as everything is going to be wrapping up tomorrow on Wednesday. No shows on obviously Thursday or Friday. Thursday, you're going to get NFL football all day long, starting with the kickoff of that very first game at 12 o'clock that you're going to be able to enjoy on 97.7 ESPN The Zone with Green Bay and Detroit. Then after that, it's going to be KC and Dallas. And then the nightcap is going to be the Bengals and the Ravens. So you'll have tons of that. And then on Friday, we have Egg Bowls taking place. Good old-fashioned hate is happening. Texas A&M Texas is happening. So a lot of football as we continue to get closer and closer to the Iron Bowl that's going to be kicking off at 6:30 on Saturday night that we're all going to be paying attention to. And yes, there are going to be a lot of arguments this weekend over the fact that the Iron Bowl is taking place. And look, what's bad, John, is I started reading an article during the commercial break just a second ago where there are people from AL.com that are actually going down, and we actually went down to Jordan-Hare to see if the football field was truly haunted. Like paranormal investigators and everything. And so now I'm just like, oh, heck, I am all about this.
Okay.
And I'm wanting to just kind of see if this is true or not, because I would love for it to actually be haunted.
Yeah, and it'd be awesome to watch a little video. If it comes out on YouTube, then I'm definitely watching that. Because look, I already like the ghost videos in and of itself, but anytime I could connect, football to something that my girlfriend likes, then that's just an extra win. And she would definitely watch it, because then she would be like, oh, this is intriguing. A football stadium that's haunted. I've never heard of this before, but there's plenty of haunted sports facilities throughout all of America. And I think Jordan-Hare definitely could be one of them, man. It's been around. It's historic. And it's just a wonderful environment.
I just want it to be. I just want it to be.
Yeah. Another one could be like Wrigley Field, which I don't know if you caught this, Joe, but last week Minnesota and Northwestern, they played up against each other, and Minnesota's had a lot of different helmets throughout their last few years, and it's kind of ramped up ever since the coach came in. I believe it's PK. It's PJ Fleck. That's who it is.
Row the boat, man. Row the boat.
Yeah, row the boat. And if you don't know what that is, his son passed away back whenever he got on at Minnesota, just a little bit before that. And that is kind of like you row the boat, or you can just drop the oars in the water. It's weird because there's a lot of different sayings for Minnesota Golden Gophers football. A lot of history
row
around
the
that.
boat is the most. He was doing that at Western Michigan as well, and it does go all the way back to the philosophy of the only way a boat is going to be able to go forward and go straight is if everybody in it is rowing in the same direction.
Yeah,
and so basically that's what it means.
And it started out as just something that he could relate to, but then it kind of went to football, and then he kind of just kept it going. And as you see on some of the helmets that the Golden Gophers rock, they have an oar on them, and if you don't know what their stripe is, a lot of times they got rid of the actual oar part at the end of an oar, and now it's just a handle. But the Golden Gophers had a very weird helmet for that game at Wrigley Field. If you look at it up close, it actually pays homage to the ivy in the outfield, but from far away, it looks like the helmet's got like mold on it. Like it is not a good look. And
Well, I mean, that's kind of what the ivy does whenever you're going to it. I mean,
Yeah,
look, I joked with you about Minecraft. They have ivy covered brick, and
They
whenever
do.
whenever you look at it from far away, it looks moldy.
Yeah.
It looks like
Definitely
it looks like
moldy.
mold is growing on the brick. So that is part of the look on it. But the thing is again, with a lot of, I'm looking at the helmet right now, and it does have that ivy look to it, as it's kind of just going, it's the regular helmet, but what they do is they just have ivy strands that are kind of going around on the helmet and all. And look, that's the thing about Minnesota, is one of those is you are having to kind of appeal and try to have a little bit of fun with it. Outside of 2 or 3 football teams, a lot of teams are going to be going with specialty helmets and uniforms. I mean, heck, even Georgia has a third uniform and a third helmet.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's one in which that you're going to hear a lot about it and see it. It's just, it's not as taboo as what it was 5 and 10 years ago.
Yeah, and this all kind of started Oregon.
No, it shouldn't happen in rivalry games.
No,
So Michigan, Ohio State, you need to be wearing your uniforms, your primary uniforms for this game, because it's Ohio State that likes to go all fancy and look stupid.
Yeah, they
during
like to
this.
screw up the tradition, man. They like to go with these black jerseys, these gray jerseys. It doesn't look good. Look,
Well,
we
and
look at
by the
these
way,
matchups.
too-
They are beautiful when they are in their historic uniforms that they've rocked so many years. And sometimes they like to go a little bit different. And in these games, it's the one game you can avoid. You just need to avoid the alternatives.
Well, and to answer Wolverine Dan's question, it is Michigan, Ohio State's going to get way more viewers than what Alabama, Auburn is. And part of the reason is because in Ohio State, Michigan, both teams are carrying their weight when it comes to trying to be a national powerhouse, where in the Iron Bowl, it's really only one side's been carrying their weight.
Yeah.
And trying to be prominent. One side will every once in a while come up and just have a tremendous season. But for the most part, this is it, which is also part of the reason why the football game this year is so incredibly weird, because normally a 5-6 Auburn team, you're not even given a chance to defeat Alabama. Like normally this is one where all Auburn fans are going to be chalking it up as saying, well, all right, we're about to get our tails kicked. And that still may happen. But this year is one that goes against every single norm that you have ever thought about the times that Auburn has beaten Alabama when it's ranked and unranked, and playing in Jordan-Hare, not playing in Jordan-Hare, kicking off at night, kicking off during the day, all of these tests. Like, this is going to go against the grain with every bit of it, because historically an Auburn team with a losing record does not stand a chance in the Iron Bowl.
No doubt. But I think there's
that is not the case in 2025.
Yeah. And I think there's still some uncertainty around Kalen DeBoer, and of course that's going to be the case until he wins, his biggest game of his time at Alabama, which hopefully one of these days might be a national title. But I mean, it is, the losses against teams like Oklahoma, that's going to shake a few feathers. Even though Oklahoma, a very stellar, very competitive team within college football this year. But again, you go back to the beginning of the season, the loss to Florida State. That turned out to be one of the worst losses in all of college football, as Florida State can't seem to get out of their own way. But you look at the matchups throughout the last few years, and Alabama has been able to handle Auburn. You got to go all the way back to 2019. But where was it at, Joe, that they won? It was Jordan.
Yeah, odd years are always in Jordan-Hare.
It was Jordan-Hare. And then in 2017, they won again. You got to go back a few more. 2013. We all remember what happened in that game. It was in Jordan-Hare.
Outside of 2013, if Auburn does win this game, I 100% support field storming. 2017, didn't think that it was really necessary. 2019 definitely wasn't necessary of storming the field. But if Auburn does upset Alabama on Saturday, that is 100% a reason to storm a field, because again, you are not supposed to be in this game. You are supposed to be a team that's about to get beat by 30 points, because you are supposed to be a 5-6 Auburn team going up against a top 10 Alabama team. And historically, these turn into lopsided affairs. But this is such a different football program since Hugh Freeze has been fired, and it's also one in which where Alabama is not this powerhouse that you've been used to seeing. They have flaws. They have a lot of flaws. you know that Auburn can actually at least go into it recognizing it and try to take advantage of some of them.
But I'm still concerned about Auburn's defense. It's kind of shifted, and I understand that they finish off the game.
That annoys the out of me.
Against Mercer, they're able to kind of get that one taken care of. Mercer,
it's
of course, kept them close. It's Mercer. And when you talk about, the POS games that we saw this week, this one meant a little bit more than what Eastern Illinois was doing. Eastern Illinois looked like they should not have been on that field, whereas Mercer kind of had a reason to be on that field. That was a good challenge.
9-1, and they're going to the college football playoff.
And Braden Atkinson, the quarterback, he didn't have a great game, but he has been very stellar. He's not going to be at Mercer next year. He's going to be in the FBS program, and he's going to slowly be making his way up at the top. But you look at the teams, both Alabama and Auburn, and you see so much talent behind the QBs that are going to be starting in this game. Ty Simpson, he's been great. He's been a little bit shaky at the end of the season. Ashton Daniels comes in, replaces a horrible Jackson Arnold throughout the year, and it still doesn't seem like he's the best quarterback on this team. But Deuce Knight looks really good. And, Joe, I want to know your opinions on Austin Mack as well, because, what are they going to do if they decide to go with their young quarterback over there in Tuscaloosa?
All right, well, Austin Mack, I did not watch a single second of the Alabama game. There was no reason to watch a single second of the Alabama game, and the only reason that I was paying attention to Deuce Knight was I just wanted to see how Deuce was going to do in the regular situations. Because, look, the running plays, the scrambling for 85 yards and 90 yards and all that, that's great. That's fun. But the thing with Deuce that I really paid attention to, and I'm even going back and rewatching as we're speaking right now, is the throws. And not so much the deep balls or anything along those. What I'm really wanting to pay attention to more is the timing routes, because the timing routes are the ones that is really the hardest for a wide receiver that hasn't gotten many reps with the ones to kind of get, because, well, it's in the name. It's a timing route. Yeah. And so that's where I really wanted to watch him. And this is where it kind of brings up the conundrum of, what should they do in this game? Because, because of the way Deuce Knight played, the X factor, and you also know what does Alabama struggle with historically. Yeah. But the problem is that Ashton Daniels hasn't done anything to not get the start. Yeah. Like it's not the Wally Pipp situation where, he's injured. And so, Deuce Knight takes over and he continues to have the job. It's nothing along those lines. Deuce Knight didn't play and we knew he wasn't going to play. But I think that the problem with this is that if Deuce Knight can run this offense the way that Auburn wants it to run, he has X factors that Ashton Daniels don't. The problem with it is more about what we're going back and rewatching some of the timing routes. He was off on some of these. It's not that it is horribly off, but when you're talking about some timing routes that he should have hit a little bit sooner, just to give his receiver an opportunity to catch and turn instead of being caught and hit. Those are some of the things that he needs to learn as he continues to grow, which will come in the offseason. Yeah. But obviously you look at, he ran this many touchdowns and he did all of this. As the game went along, he got better with the timing routes as they continued to go. He made great decisions when it came to getting off of a receiver, going to the next one, making the passes whenever you're wanting to hit players in stride, things along those lines he actually did. And I think that this is where it's going to be difficult for DJ Durkin going into the game, because in all reality, Deuce Knight, I still think, gives you a better opportunity to beat Alabama than what Ashton Daniels does, because, rewatching this as I'm doing right now, and I'm just focusing on the passing plays in this, there is that fifth dimension, that running attack, that ability to scramble where, Deuce Knight was so good and not trying to run. That was not his second or third option. He continued to look and look and look and look. And then finally he was like, screw it, I'll run. That's this maturity level that you're seeing. And as the game went along against Mercer, I saw the timing routes starting to get better. And so this is where Durkin's going to have a tough decision. And, you don't want to do that to Ashton Daniels because he hasn't done anything wrong to lose the starting position, which is the reason why I think he'll get the start. But at the same time, I still think Deuce Knight gives Auburn the better shot at winning, because you go back and you look at the pass that he threw in the corner of the end zone. I believe it was to Cam Coleman.
Oh, yeah, it was.
Coleman was, I didn't even know how the ball could even get to it.
Yeah.
And Deuce Knight was able to make that throw.
It was the tightest of windows, Joe, and it was one of the greatest catches I've seen in a minute. And that had me thinking, Deuce Knight's going to be spectacular, but he's going to need those weapons to come back to Auburn. How hard is it going to be to try and retain a guy like Cam Coleman?
I think that's why another reason why I would also go with Deuce Knight in this, because look, if Auburn wins, what's the best you're going to get? You're going to go to you're going to go to the Independence Bowl, or you're going to go to the Liberty Bowl in Memphis? Like, is that what you're going to do? Like, you're going to get to the biggest one? Yeah, the extra practices help, which is why you want to do it. But I also think that you need to give these offensive players a little bit of hope that you can go, if this is Deuce, and Deuce is the one that's going to be the quarterback here, okay, this is going to be different. And the one thing as far as the running is concerned that I saw, and matter of fact, we were in the UAH coaches' offices when it happened, and we all kind of saw it at the same time, is his ability to run look like he's not even trying to run and still outrun guys. Mm-hmm. That is very special. Yeah. And there are only a few quarterbacks that have that ability to run the football when you scramble and to make it look like you're not even fifth gear.
Well,
and you are in your passing guys.
That is a great
that's
point.
Different.
Great point that you throw out there. And again, against Mercer, shouldn't be a game where you have
Mercer.
You shouldn't
100% Mercer.
Have to be moving around and looking like you're, hesitating or, you're not knowing what to do with the football. But when Jackson Arnold came in and he had himself, a few plays, he dumps this pass off to a running back. The way that he tries to scramble and navigate the pocket compared to what Deuce Knight was doing, it looked like this was a chicken with his head cut off. Obviously gets the pass off, but he looked so much more rushed than Deuce Knight did all game long.
Jackson Arnold looks like he is that guy in a scary movie, and he's always trying to get away from the serial killer. Like he does. He's just like, oh my God, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? He's that guy that's panicking and he needs somebody to just walk over to him, slap him in the face and say, shut up and just run. Like he's that guy. Where Deuce, on the other hand, is like, all right, you can't catch me. I'm just going to do this. And it was almost as if it was always that option in the pocket of like, all right, I want to pass. Am I going to A? Am I going to B? Am I going to C? All right, fine. I'll run for 55. Like it was that. And I think that
good run, but it was Jackson Arnold type of run,
but what I'm saying is that Jackson Arnold always looks like he's panicking.
Yeah.
Deuce Knight looked like he was under control. And again, this is Mercer. I get that it's Mercer. Okay. But there's a lot of things that you can take in this when you are in an opportunity to see. There's a reason why coaches try to get a lot of reps for the second and third string guys against a Mercer, against an Eastern Illinois, because to them, those are live game reps that they can go back on film and go, okay, this is what you did against Eastern Illinois. We can't, if we have to put you in a situation because a cornerback loses his helmet or he goes down because he has to go through concussion protocol and we've got to stick you out there, you can't do this against LSU. No. You can't do this against Auburn. You can't do this against Georgia or Texas A&M. And so that's what these games are good for. And with Deuce, he showed me enough where I would have to have a real conversation with my offensive staff about if he's the one getting the start or not. And I don't know when and if and how DJ Durkin is going to be talking at some point in time this week. I know this is going to pop up, but you've got to have a real serious thought about Deuce Knight, because you start Deuce Knight and this Auburn offense puts up 45 points. Your Cam Coleman conversation, all these guys that have the ability to transfer once the portal opens on the second or whenever Auburn names a new head coach, they're less likely to do it if they know that this is what they're going to be getting.
Yeah, and I do. There's so many questions around this Auburn game that I do want to get into. And, of course, we'll talk the Alabama side of things tomorrow with Drudy Armand, get into a little bit of Keelan Russell, Austin Mack play. But at one point, this game was 14-14. Joe, this game was very close in the first half until Auburn started taking it away near the end of the second quarter. What was going on right there? I mean, why was
Well, and
this
I think
game
that some of that,
close?
I think that was also Deuce Knight getting his first real reps. I think that in the beginning of that game, he wasn't as crisp as what he wanted to be. I think that there were some nerves going on with that.
But it's not like he turned the football over. It was the defense. The defense allows the points.
But there's a difference in it being able to go, okay, I can survive on an NFL football field or a college football field, and I can play well. And then there's that Jackson Arnold goes out, get one series that you can kind of sit back and just take a deep breath. And then once after that happened, I mean, this was the Deuce Knight show.
Yeah.
And he just took the game over. I mean, after Jackson Arnold got pulled and he didn't go back out in that game, Deuce Knight did literally nothing to show that Arnold should even be considered to come back.
6 total
into
touchdowns
that football game
from Deuce Knight. Had me thinking, why wasn't this guy starting in the first place?
Oh, no, you wonder? I mean, again, remember, let's go back to August and be like, okay, why aren't we getting this?
Yeah.
And look, for Deuce Knight, great, you're using a red shirt or whatever. But if Deuce Knight is the player that he shows the ability to have, and again, you've heard beat writers, you've heard Ike Jones, and if we get him on tomorrow, he'll probably say the same thing. He'll say, yeah, you saw in that game why people think that he has the potential of being special. And if that's the case, you're still only getting him for 2 more seasons regardless. I think that him redshirting is absolutely idiotic, but then again, look at the person that was redshirting him. So, luckily for everybody else, it's not going to be that man that's trying to have to coach Deuce Knight into becoming a better quarterback because it's not going to happen.
No doubt about it. We do need to hop into our final break. When we come back, talk a little bit about what the MLB is doing with their TV deals going into 2026. On top of that, just close out the show and your phone calls as well. 256-576-9770 here on the Blitz on 97.7 ESPN The Zone and WZZN TV.
Phone lines are open now. 256-576-4977. This is The Blitz on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
From heirloom diamonds to contemporary jewels, Loring & Company is the place to find something truly special. Whether shopping for a diamond ring for that once-in-a-lifetime occasion or marking a milestone birthday or personal achievement with a Rolex watch, you'll find just the thing in our edit of the world's most sought-after brands, including David Yurman, Roberto Coin, Marco Bicego, and Fopay. Expect a treasure trove of the world's most unique, even breathtaking earrings, rings, necklaces, and bracelets, making choosing just one piece a challenge in itself. Loring & Company Jewelers on Airport Road.
Need tough equipment you can count on? Christopher Equipment has you covered. Whether it's air compressors, trenchers, bucket lifts, concrete tools, generators, skid steers, and more. Serving you with locations in Tullahoma, Shelbyville, Manchester, Fayetteville, and Hazel Green. Christopher Equipment. From job site to backyard, rent or buy. Christopher Equipment delivers the tools you need when you need them. Call 931-455-3900 or visit Christopher.equipment today. Christopher Equipment, powering your project.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics. to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
Exceptional outcomes start with exceptional therapists, and that's what you'll find at Johnson & Hayes Physical Therapy. With 7 convenient locations across North Alabama, Johnson & Hayes offers expert care close to home. Our experienced clinicians specialize in everything from orthopedic and neurological rehab to TMJ, pelvic health, and lymphedema therapy. Johnson & Hayes is trusted by physicians and by patients across the region. Visit johnsonandhayes.com and see why outcomes matter at Johnson & Hayes. By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Talking Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Weekday mornings beginning at 7 a.m. only on 97.7 ESPN and the 97.7 ESPN The Zone app.
All right, last segment, best segment, 97.7 ESPN. The Zone phone lines are open to you, 256-576. 977. We only got a couple of minutes left. And John, I know you said somebody was on the phone, and it totally slipped my mind last segment, and that's 100% on me.
It's all good. Brandon actually, he left the phone lines and then got back on because I'll let him tell you real quick before we get out of here. Brandon, how you doing, sir?
So I'm looking at this whole Brunswick, Georgia, Gainesville, Georgia high schools in the playoff. And I truly believe that a lot of these teams that lose in the playoffs want to start fights to penalize the other team. And this right here is living proof of it, and the GHSA has messed up. Gainesville didn't start that fight. Dude got hit 2 or 3 times with his hands raised up, and nobody around's doing anything. No officials, no coaches, no cops, nothing. But you want to suspend half the team for Gainesville for the next game for taking up for their guy. I got a great idea. Why don't you do your job?
Well, and to be honest with you, that happens across the board. There's a lot of playoff games where that's exactly what happens. And unfortunately for the team that is getting eliminated, it doesn't bother them if they get a penalty or not. Either it's going to be a senior that's not going to be playing next year anyway, or it's going to be somebody that's like, screw it, I'll sit out next year. I don't care. My season's over right now. And unfortunately for the not just for Georgia, but it happens in Alabama as well, where these teams start doing it because they're trying to bait the team that's advancing into going into the game a man down because they're angry because they got beat.
Well, I'll tell you what, that would be real nice if they would do. That kid that hit that kid, the one that had his hands up for Gainesville, and then he hit him again. You know what that'd be real nice if they did?
What?
Salt charge.
No.
You can.
I think if you
in all reality, you could.
About twice. Yeah, I think if you done that about twice, they'd tone that down.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's one, especially because everything's on film.
Someone would have to be the martyr, but yes, I agree.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Just blow up the whole system.
You're probably going to cause Gainesville to lose a game because their guy got hit multiple times over and over and run into the ground, but you're just supposed to stand there and do nothing about it?
No. Reminds me kind of a last night, Juwan Jennings gets hit in the crotch.
Yeah.
And at the end of the game afterwards, and of course, if you're trying to immobilize a man, even a grown man that plays in the NFL, you hit him in the crotch. And obviously he's not going to fight back at that time, but afterwards he gets a shot in, and now we're looking at, possible suspensions for him. So, it's stuff that happens that refs sometimes just don't see, even though there was a ref kind of right next to those two whenever the altercation went down.
Well, to me, at those games, you know what they are, and you know how spirited they are.
Yeah.
You need to have a little more security there, and when something happens, people need to be rolled out and put a stop to it immediately.
No doubt.
I think that dereliction on the part of the schools and GHSA is as much to blame as the kids are. You know what the kids are going to do. Be prepared.
Yeah.
It's not hard.
We appreciate that call, Brandon. Good stuff from you. Look forward to talking with you again tomorrow, hopefully, before we get into all the Thanksgiving festivities. But for me and Joe, we got to get the heck out of here. But before we do that, remember that Bobcat of Huntsville is always the sponsor of this final segment. Whether you need loaders, excavators, tractors, mowers, they got it all. BobcatofHuntsville.com is the place to find it. For me and Joe, we're getting out of here. But Tom Abraham, Rich Eisen, The Drive, as well as Crawdad's Countdown to Kickoff, all coming up throughout today's, I guess, I don't know, today's amazing Tuesday. I don't know. It was terrible.
The crimson and white jerseys.
Front court to the rack and the play.
The sound of a buzzer beater.